And I would like to call to order our Economic Development Committee at 10:45 a.m.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mary. And for anyone joining us for the first time, the goal of this committee is to foster economic growth and prosperity for businesses in the San Fernando Valley. The committee meets monthly, and we welcome members of the public to join us to collaborate, share ideas and input, and otherwise partner with us to strengthen the Valley. Note that the meeting is being recorded and the replay will be available on the Alliance's website at thevalley.net/events. You'll also be able to access any slides from today's presentation. And I'd like to acknowledge Fred Gates, our board chair, who's here with us this morning. Hello, Fred, if you wanted to say just hello or whatever.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. And special thanks to all of the leaders of our Economic Development Committee, especially John Parker. John has been a stalwart at the Alliance for many years, one of our officers, and has led this committee for quite a few years. We really, really appreciate, John, all of your efforts. So thank you. And thank you to everyone for being with us today.
Awesome. Thank you. And now for a bit of background about the Alliance, our committee co-chair, John Parker.
Okay, good morning, everybody, and thank you, Mary, and thank you to Scott and to Heidi, because I think Scott's presentation, when you look at all the things you've got to do to lease space, is a little scary, but the real takeaway is that, you don't go to a gunfight with knives, and you need to have a broker to work for you. You need professional things, because professional folks working for you, and that really takes all the hard work out of it, because they've done it so many times. A number of years ago, we were trying to start a bank in the Valley, and we had 2 staff members that spent 3 weeks trying to find space. And at a meeting, we said, well, why don't you talk to a broker? And it was Richard Lehner at the time, and they called Richard, and the next day they had 3 different locations, and one of them was a bank up on Devonshire that we were able to get to start the branch. So just made so much sense. They wasted 3 weeks, so you must have professional people. We do have biotech coming to the Valley. I agree with Scott that it's a perfect employer. They pay good salaries, and we have a company called Instill Bio at on Oxnard that reseeded there. I think they have 7 different buildings that they will have. It's a British firm, but it's a public firm, so we welcome them, and we welcome all the jobs that they'll bring to our Valley. We know personally that large corporations are dragging out sort of the price. I think Home Depot is going to something like 90 or 120 days for suppliers that supply them things, and that makes it very difficult for people. And we may be coming into some more difficult economic times. So the idea of being able to get capital from somebody like Heidi and Mission Valley Bank, which I'm part of, or any of our banks, is just going to be an important part of everybody going forward for the next few years. Some other remarks: special thanks to the committee co-chairs, Lois and Mary, and all of our distinguished board members for their leadership and support. As many of you may know, since 1995, the Alliance has been instrumental in moving the Valley forward on economic development, education and workforce development, livable and sustainable communities, and marketing the Valley. One of the areas we're working on is advocating for permit streamlining in our 5 partner cities: Burbank, Calabasas, Glendale, Los Angeles, and San Fernando. We're also pursuing revitalization efforts by identifying vacant and underutilized properties that can be redeveloped, and will be promoting those properties to developers in the coming months. To learn more about the Alliance, please visit our website at thevalley.net. And now to introduce today's presenters is committee co-chair Lois Claver, Vice President and Commercial Banker at JP Morgan Chase. Lois.
Thank you so much, John. Good morning, everyone. I'm very excited to be here. The Valley Economic Alliance is fortunate to have incredible support from businesses across the San Fernando Valley. who uphold the shared values of corporate social responsibility. And on January 12th, I'm honored to join CSUN President Erica Beck as co-chairs of the Alliance's inaugural Our Region, Our Future Regional Development Summit at CSUN. The Alliance will convene the best and brightest minds to share timely insights about envisioning our excess inventory of retail and office real estate, among other topics, and bring planning and development and safety teams from our 5 cities to meet our stakeholders and get real estate projects moving again. Today, we are pleased to have 2 representatives from the City of San Fernando joining us to talk about exciting new developments in this beautiful and historic city in our region, Nick Kimball and Kanika Smith. Nick Kimball is the city manager for the City of San Fernando, a post that he has held since February 2019. In 2022, Nick earned the designation as International City Managers Association Credentialed Manager, ICMA-CM. Prior to being appointed as city manager, Nick served 5 years as San Fernando's Director of Finance, including a 9-month stint as interim city manager. During his tenure as Director of Finance, San Fernando significantly improved its financial position by turning a substantial general fund deficit into a healthy general fund reserve. Kanika Smith is the Director of Community Development at the City of San Fernando. With more than 20 years experience in economic and community development, she serves as the city's liaison to the business community and has helped new businesses locate to the city's main commercial and industrial districts. I'm very excited, ladies and gentlemen. Let's welcome Nick and Kanika. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Lois. I'll give Kanika a minute to get our presentation up, but I just want to say good morning to everyone. Thank you for joining myself and Kanika to learn a little bit about the charming city of San Fernando and spotlight some of our economic development and business development efforts. So the first slide, I'm going to take a little time to be the San Fernando Tourism Board. So we can go to the next slide, Kanika. The city of San Fernando is not the San Fernando Valley. We are in the San Fernando Valley, but we're a small little piece of it. And we wear that with pride because San Fernando really is a unique independent city located in the Northeast San Fernando Valley, surrounded by the city of Los Angeles neighborhoods of Silmar, Pacoima, and Mission Hills. You can see highlighted where exactly we're located. San Fernando boasts a small town feel and is a community rich in California history, dating back almost 2 centuries when it was settled in the early 1800s as ranching, farming, and small trading center. There was a brief gold rush in the 1840s, and then San Fernando became the first organized community in the San Fernando Valley before being officially recognized as a city in 1911. Despite our small town charm, we do pack a lot of punch in our 2.37 square mile frame. We have about 6,500 housing units to support our 24,000 residents. San Fernando is a prime location for more than 1,000 business establishments, and our roots as a small trading center have blossomed into a prime location for manufacturing and industrial businesses with easy access to 3 major freeways. As you can see, we're we're nestled between the 5, the 210, and the 118. We're also very close to the 405. San Fernando proudly offers responsive city services, good access to city government, access to a large labor pool, a lower business tax than Los Angeles, and no utility tax. Next slide, please, Kanika. Thank you. So if you break down San Fernando's population and customer base here, when you drill down into the numbers, many are surprised to find out that San Fernando is actually a young and vibrant community. Our average age, or our median age of 37, is slightly less than the median age in the county of 38. And at 27% of the total population, you can see that millennials, and that's the age 18 to 34, we all love the millennials because they spend money, and they make up the largest age group in the city. As a group, as I said, millennials represent 600 billion in spending power nationwide, and often have more disposable income than other age brackets, and are really looking for authentic local food and entertainment experiences to spend that money on. Next slide. So this goes over some of our top industries in San Fernando based on our sales tax returns. So about 50% of our local sales tax activity is generated from auto sales and building and construction industry. We have a Home Depot that right off the 210 there that does pretty well. And then we have our restaurants and general consumer goods account for another 18% of our sales tax revenue. So we have a relatively diverse local economy. Go ahead, Kanika. So our economic development strategy moving forward, we're really focused on supporting small businesses, especially coming out of the COVID-19 pandemic, which really disproportionately impacted small businesses. Earlier this year, we granted 10,000, we provided 10,000 or 40 businesses with $10,000 grants. So spent almost $400,000 to make sure that our small business community or small businesses could really get the boost they needed. We also approved an amnesty program to waive business license, late penalties for any of those businesses that were struggling to pay their business license on time during the pandemic. We provide special event fee waivers of approximately $10,000 per event to support the monthly San Fernando outdoor market, which you will hear more about later in the presentation. And lastly, we created a deputy city manager position. The city council just created that, and we're recruiting now for that position. And that position will focus primarily on economic development and creating a business resource center. So it shows our commitment to really helping business move into the city. We're also focused on partnerships with local organizations. We're working to strengthen our partnerships with some of the local business groups here. We're working with the San Fernando Mall Association, which is a downtown business improvement district, to modernize our MOU and increase their ability to support and market businesses located in the downtown, and continue to organize special events like the San Fernando Outdoor Market that we just mentioned. We also work with the San Fernando Chamber of Commerce to promote and attend grand opening ceremonies, and we are active in amazing organizations like the Valley Economic Alliance to connect businesses with resources. So Kanika is going to finish this slide and go over the rest of our economic development strategy.
Thank you, Nick. Can everyone hear me okay before I start?
Yes, sounds
Yep.
great.
Perfect, thank you. So the third strategy up here on the slide is recruit new businesses and reduce barrier. Because we're a small city, we have good working relationship with property owners to help new businesses identify sites and connect them with the appropriate owners. We also provide expedite services to get new business to open quickly. We offer an online permit counter where business can apply for their building permits online, and our turnaround for that is 10 calendar days for first review and 5 days for second review. And most importantly, we have easy access to staff to help them through the process when they're trying to open a business here in San Fernando. Or when they're in business and they need help, they have easy to staff to help them through the process as well for expansion or finding additional resources. Next is responsive housing development. In response to the housing price and state requirement, we have updated our housing element to accommodate 1,795 housing units by 2029. A mixed-use overlay will be created to allow housing in existing commercial areas. This will help facilitate and encourage investment and redevelopment in these commercial areas where it can accommodate the demand for additional density to meet the housing needs, and also bring several benefits to the city. The overlay will allow flexibility to create a live-work environment that will help local businesses and reduce the needs for vehicle travel by bringing residents and visitors together. I'm sorry, next slide. My presentation is not moving. Give me a moment. So we have these different business districts to support a wide variety of business types to open in our city. We have our historic downtown pedestrian mall and the McClay commercial corridor, which are attractive walkable neighborhoods. We have a work Flex District near the Metrolink station, a mixed-use district adjacent to our historic downtown pedestrian mall, and an auto commercial district and industrial manufacturing outside of the downtown. These districts were created to allow for a streamlined process for business to open quickly and to operate. For example, a microbrewery is allowed by right, and we're seeing a lot of interest. We are business friendly, and we're removing unnecessary red tapes for business to open and succeed. 2022 has been busy for us. Several new businesses have opened and more to come. But here are 3 new restaurants that recently opened. So if you plan to visit us here in San Fernando, please bring your appetite to enjoy a nice variety of comfort food at Lowe's Kitchen or seafood at Surf and Turf. Or take your afternoon picking up to Bordeaux Wine and Espresso Bar to enjoy their selection of coffee and pastry, or just relax with a glass of wine. I'm gonna help. If you haven't heard, American Fleet of Flavor, manufacturer of Monster Energy Drink, will be opening their US headquarters here in San Fernando. They have been working hard and fast on building this 200,000 square foot state-of-the-art manufacturing and office building. As you can see here in the video, this is the condition of the building now that they've been working on. They've been working very hard, and it hasn't been easy for them with the limited supply chain that we're dealing with. And we're looking forward to them opening in early 2023. They anticipate bringing approximately 300 or more employment opportunities in Fernando. I'm gonna move to the next. I'm not gonna finish the video here because I know we have limited time. We're also happy to announce that Target is coming to San Fernando, and their anticipated opening date is October 2023. They will occupy a 1,000 square foot building that was formerly occupied by Sam's Club. This building has been vacant since Sam's Club closed the door in January 2018. The store may bring in approximately 200 additional employment opportunities in the building. As I said earlier, there's more to come. We are working with a couple of property owners here in the city to transform existing buildings to make room for more food establishments and retail space. The 2 pictures on the top row here show an existing furniture store that's being converted to a tri-level market hall consisting of multiple retail suites, 4 restaurants, a microbrewery, and a rooftop bar and terrace. The 2 lower pictures show a former tire store, Firestone, that will be converted to a restaurant building. Both of these are in our downtown district, where many users are permitted by right. This means they do not need to search approval from the planning commission or city council, and this saves them a lot of time to go review and approve the process. And we will continue to work with the property owners to help make these projects come to life very soon. We're also working with another property owner to create a new retail center and housing development in our mixed-use district. This site is outlined here in red on this slide. And I put my contact information up here because we need help in finding tenants for this location. This project is in a very early stage. The retail site is probably 1.5 acres with 2 street frontage facing San Fernando Road and Street. This site is at the corner of San Fernando Road in Huntington for treatment and transit. And as I mentioned, we're looking for new businesses that are interested in coming to this development to help this property owner get this project going as soon as possible. So if you know of anyone, please send them to me. My contact information is here, and I'll put it in the chat. So as I mentioned, 2022 has been busy. Actually, I should say it has been good, and 2023 will be even better. We will continue our economic development effort forward. As Nicholas mentioned, the city created a deputy city manager position to primarily focus on economic development. This person will lead the effort in establishing a new business research center here in City Hall to provide a business concierge service to new and existing businesses. This person will also lead the effort in reimagining our downtown, working with the community in creating a downtown master plan to identify the community's desire of economic vibrancy. The city will continue to support small businesses, continue to provide a platform for small-scale entrepreneurs to test their products and recruit new businesses. And responsive housing will continue. As we strive to create a vibrant and advanced sustainable San Fernando, we will work on improving amenities for residents and visitors, such as building a bike path from the walk and develop a complete pedestrian network to help our residents walk and bike to San Fernando. As we move forward, we will continue to explore other programs such as outdoor guiding and facade safety programs to support the post-COVID business model, to revitalize our downtown and to further improve our business community. Here, I'm going to ask Nick to talk about why to do something San Fernando. Nick?
Thank you, Kanika. So to sum up why a business should come to San Fernando, we have a historic and charming pedestrian downtown mall with a retail that's really a retail and entertainment center for the whole Northeast Valley. We have a younger population looking for authentic local food and entertainment experiences. We have easy access to 3 major freeways, a Metrolink station, and will be home of a future light rail station. Scott, in his presentation earlier, these are his words, not mine, but he said permitting in the city, which I believe he said City of Los Angeles, is a disaster. I will say, as a small city government, we are not, permitting here is not a disaster. You'll have direct access to high-level city staff to shepherd projects through the planning and building permitting process, much quicker than you would in our surrounding cities, or in the surrounding city. We also have our own police department and lightning fast response times and a safe community. And we have a hardworking, skilled labor pool eager for good paying jobs. So I'll turn it back over to Kanika to talk a little bit about the San Fernando Outdoor Market.
Thank you, Nick. Before I talk, here I would like to invite the president of the San Fernando Chamber, Adriana Gomez, to speak about how the outdoor market started, how it has evolved, and its success. But before I do that, I would like to highlight the importance of the outdoor market. First, it helps strengthen community bonds and identities by creating a place for the community to come together. Second, it supports economic equity and justice by providing a safe platform for small-scale entrepreneurs to sell and market their products. Third, it helps existing business by attracting visitors from outside the community to come shop and dine here in San Fernando. Now, I would like to give the floor to Adriana Gomez. Thank you. Adriana?
Yes, hi, can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Hi, thank you, Kanika, Nick, and thank you to the Economic Alliance for the opportunity to talk about the San Fernando Outdoor Market. The San Fernando Outdoor Market is the brainchild of the Mall Association, as Nick mentioned earlier, and we're excited to be celebrating 2 years in the near future in February. The success of the market was something we never imagined. I won't call it an accident because we're extremely intentional about what we're trying to create. It started as a temporary solution to outdoor dining during the pandemic. And in our 2-block mall area, we have a couple of restaurants who were shut down because of the pandemic, and we were looking for opportunities to dine. We were fortunate that the city took a chance on our crazy idea and allowed it to move forward. We could not have done this without them. We started with 10 vendors, and thanks to a partnership with My Valley Pass, we've been able to grow to over 90 vendors, a car show, entertainment, and have a wait list of over 500 vendors currently. The outdoor market has become the most popular monthly event in the city of San Fernando, and it is the largest outdoor market now in the Valley. We are extremely careful that we highlight local culture. We attract visitors, not just from our local neighborhoods, but it's become a regional attraction where people who may never have otherwise visited San Fernando now have a reason to do so. Public markets in general are extremely popular in places like Mexico and Europe and Middle East because it has created, it has become the original civic center. And what sets our market apart, I think, is that we are intentional about the type of artists and vendors we bring in. We are very careful not to compete with any of the businesses currently on the mall. And the benefits that have come of it is it it allows low risk opportunity for vendors to enter the market. Small businesses are the backbone of every community. Certainly here in San Fernando, that is also the case. And it is a passion project for vendors who create stuff. And for some vendors, it's a passion project. For other vendors, it's a livelihood. Vendors look forward to this every single month. It's a one-of-a-kind shopping experience. It provides unique items that you wouldn't find anywhere else. And it's created a resurgence of our downtown that we haven't seen in years, where now businesses want to be in the downtown. Our vacancy rate in the downtown has decreased because of the market. It has provided a sense of community where you can have a drink with your council member, have a drink with a local staff member in the city. You see your neighbors, you see people who you haven't seen for a number of years. And it's created a sense of community with the police department and law enforcement in a time where law enforcement relationships became turbulent. I think that ours was strengthened here. We have presence every single market, and it's become a positive impact on businesses who are here. We have a large number of bridal shops. We've been able to bring 2,500 people at a time who wouldn't otherwise visited San Fernando. As you all know, San Fernando San Fernando Valley is named after San Fernando. So we have a lot of history here. And it's been a really great experience for these past 2 years. We're looking forward to continuing it. And we've also been able to create revenue for the mall association that we wouldn't otherwise have, to make improvements, to do some facade improvements that we have planned, and to do outdoor music. And that's really the outdoor market. Our next outdoor market is December 3rd, where we're partnering with the city to do our annual tree lighting event. We expect over 5,000 people at that event, and we welcome everyone to join us.
Thank you, Adriana. And I also want to mention, we put the website here for if you're interested in the outdoor market, go to www.myvalleypass.com/sf-outdoor-market, and it's on the presentation. With that, let's conclude our presentation, and we're here to answer any questions.
Well, this is Martha Diaz-Ashkenazi. How is everybody today? I'm the publisher of the San Fernando Valley Sun. And I want to say that we've been covering, the outdoor market for a little bit, and it is a great event that's brought people together in a very safe family environment. You see kids dancing in the street. There's food trucks that come, with Halloween, people were in costume. They had the first LGBTQ event in the city of San Fernando ever, and it was just such a great event. But what I want to do is I want to just make sure that we recognize that there were 3 women at the helm of this effort. 3 women who, during the pandemic decided they needed to do something. 2 entrepreneurs, Christina Bernal, who owns 1984, a vintage shop, Jolene, who owns the Truma House in Bodevi, and Adriana, who is part of Ashkenazi development as well. It was their brainchild. They took a lot of pushback from vendors too, and she didn't tell you, all of that, but they persevered, and it is by far now the best, I think, event, in the Valley, not just in San Fernando. There are many great events in San Fernando, but this is one of the good ones. And I think that it really speaks to economic development. It really raises the profile of the city. And I just want to make sure that I congratulate these 3 women who have worked so hard, and without their initiative, I'm not sure that it would have happened. So thank you.
Thank you, Martha.
And thank you to Nick, to Kanika, and to Adriana. And Martha, I was going to call on because she's been a board member for, a long time before I was a board member of Valley Economic Alliance, and done tremendous work as an officer and president of, or chair of the board in the past. So thank you. I own a property up in San Fernando, an industrial building, and I know anytime I visit the city with different people is if ever you want to get what it feels like to be in small town America, you just need to go to San Fernando. There's an atmosphere in the city, in the restaurants. Well, you need to go up and experience it and see what it is. And the city is easy to work with. I didn't know you could get permits that quick. And because I don't think Scott was only talking about the city of LA being a disaster, sorry to be using that word, but there's difficulty from Santa Barbara to every city we work in, to Camarillo, to Beverly Hills, to Santa Monica. There's I don't usually pull the permits, but we just know all the horror stories that go on. So it would be good. Nick, would you like to talk, like if there was a project that somebody had an industrial building, that's not going to be 5 to 10 days, because we accept fully that there's a need to sort of look to compliance and many other issues, and nobody expects it to be short, but they don't expect the nightmares that Scott's looking at in 6 and 9 months and longer.
Yeah, I think well, we're definitely not going to be ignoring you or let you sit in the inbox. If nothing else, you'll get a quick response. I'll turn it over to Kanika to give a little bit more flavor on what exactly the permitting process is. But the responsive, I mean, half the time it's really just you want to know what's going on, right? So with us, you'll be able to always figure out what's going on. Obviously, we can't promise that your architect's going to have, meet all of our zoning requirements right away, but we'll certainly let you know what we need, what we require in a very efficient manner. So, but go ahead, Kanika. I think you're better to answer that question than I am.
Thank you, Nick. I'll take on that question. So as Scott mentioned, it really depends on the type of business you're bringing in, the zoning that you want to go in, the location is really important. So being successful in economic development, helping business here in San Fernando is helping them find the right location. If a warehouse business want to come in and they pick a commercial site, I'll tell them, you know what? I do not recommend that location because you're going to have to go through our planning commission, you have to go through city council to change your zoning, and that could take anywhere from 6 months to a year, and you have to do CEQA, and that takes a longer process. So then we would help guide them to the right site to find a industrial site where it will be permitted by right. Now, if it's permitted by right, you could avoid the public hearing process. And we just, of course, have to comply with CEQA, but it's definitely going to take much quicker for our planning review process rather than taking a year. It might only take you 3 months to 6 months, or even less than 6. And we hope it would be less than 6, but it really depends on the size of the industrial project that's coming in. Once you get out the planning approval, you will then go through our building permit process, which I mentioned earlier. It's 10 days for the first review. Regardless of the size of your building, we have a contractor that we work with that's committed to reviewing any construction plan within 10 calendar days. And then the second review would be 5 calendar days. Now, most important, I can't tell you about how long it'll take them to the project review process, because it will also depend on the applicant's architect and engineer to submit the quality of plans that the contractor needs for review and approval. But we are definitely much quicker than a lot of cities that I know of in with a 10 to 5 days review period.
Well, and I would agree. And so the follow-up question, which you sort of answered, is that you use a contract outside agency, but to get a review in 10 days is that it doesn't happen anywhere else, let me tell you, not in any city, because the plan checkers are working from home, and but you can't get them. You'd be lucky to get an email back in 3 weeks. So that's tremendous, and to stay positive on it. So good job. What streets, like there was a question in the chat about where you park, and then somebody said it's the mall, but if we were looking for the streets to find parking to go to the December 3rd, can you give us the cross streets that we should be looking for?
Sure. So we have 4 public parking lots, good sized public parking lots right in the downtown mall, and then there are another 3 that are within very close proximity, 3 or 4 that are in close proximity. So the streets are basically Truman and Maclay and San Fernando Road and Maclay. So that, if you get yourself to Truman and Maclay, you'll see all the parking lots there. I'd also, if you have We have a Tesla supercharging station in the downtown mall. So all you that drive Teslas, bring those up, charge them for, half an hour, and then and go patronize some of our restaurants in the outdoor market.
Okay, thank you. Sonia, I see that you have some questions or observations.
Yes, two questions that I think our listeners will be really interested in. First of all, thank you for the awesome presentation, Nick and Kanika. Really, really great work. And congratulations on American Fruit and Flavors coming into San Fernando and other companies that are coming in. If you could share a little bit about the type of retail that you'd like to attract to that wonderful space that you showed is available for leasing now. Are there particular types of companies that you think will be very complementary to what's happening and where you want to take the quaint city of San Fernando would be question number one. And question number two, it was mentioned in the presentation also that there will be a metro line. There are plans for a metro line in the city. And if you can talk a little bit about that, any anticipated impacts, the Alliance is here to help mitigate any impacts on existing business and support retention prior to construction, and then also help business assistance with city businesses before, during, and after. But it'd be interesting thinking about mobility in the region. And of course, the Alliance has been a real leader in bringing the Orange Line to the Valley, and we're very interested in mobility innovation and helping to move people and products around this valley for economic development. Anyway, so long-winded, but two questions. What kind of retail to attract, and what's happening with the metro?
Thank you, Sonia. I'll go ahead and go first, and Nick can add in if he wants. So for the site that I identified in the presentation, that's really a vacant site. They're working with Starbucks to put in a third location here, but the site is about 1.5 acres. So we're looking to, what I've been hearing from you is that we're looking to get more food dining options. So if you have any good reference or recommendation for a nice sit-down restaurant, that would be great to add into our city. It'll be even better if we can get like a white tablecloth restaurant, but we are definitely looking for more dining restaurants or more eating options. As I mentioned earlier, we're also going to be doing a downtown master plan to hear from the community as well on what else they want to see here in San Fernando. And if Nick wants to add into that, or Adriana, feel free. And regarding the light rail station, we do have a light rail that's planned to come into San Fernando. We're working with the metro on when it's going to happen and regards its stop location. We think we're anticipating that they will have a stop here in the city of San Fernando, right on McClay and okay, Nick, I can't remember the street.
It's basically McClay and Truman. It was originally, it's part of the East San Fernando Valley line. So it's coming up Van Nuys Boulevard. We're sort of the second phase of that. I think originally it was the 28 by 28 that Mayor Garcetti had, but I think our leg of the, it is a little more delayed. Our leg of the light rail. So we're hoping in the next, it takes a while to get through all those processes, but we're looking the next 8 to 10 years. And yeah, we would have a local stop right at McClay and Truman, right near our, very walkable to our downtown area.
Thank you, Nick.
I can't see all the screen. Is there any other questions?
I don't believe we have any other questions at this time, but I encourage you, Nick and Kanika, to put your contact info in the chat so people can continue the conversation with you if desired. It's really great.
Thank you, everyone. I'm putting my information in chat now. So if you know of any business stop, if you're looking for a space in San Fernando, contact me.
Great. Well, we're coming to the close of the meeting, but just wondering, is there any other committee business that any of our co-chairs would like to talk about? If not, then we can have Mary move into our closing.
Okay, on behalf of the Valley Economic Alliance, I'd like to thank today's speakers, Kanika, Kith, and Nick Kimball, for joining us and providing key information. A special thanks again to our sponsors and everyone who participated today. Please be sure to complete the brief survey at the end of today's program. Your response is vital to helping us better serve you and others within our 5-city region. Be sure to mark your calendar for our Livable and Sustainable Communities Committee on November 17, when we'll have a presentation on regional initiatives of the San Fernando Valley Council of Governments, which the Alliance was instrumental in funding in 2010. Also, please consider joining us for our December 15th annual board meeting at Calabasas City Hall and our January 12th Regional Development Summit. To register for upcoming programs, visit thevalley.net /events and or take advantage of valuable business resources. Visit thevalley.net /assistance. We look forward to connecting with you soon. Please also note that this meeting is being recorded and a replay will be available on the Alliance's website, www.thevalley.net/events. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Mary and John and Lois, our co-chairs, our speakers, Kanika, Kith, and Nick Kimball from City of San Fernando, and everyone for attending. Our meeting is now adjourned at 11:26 a.m.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Nick.